Hi everyone, are you all there? कुछ भी हो जाए, Aryan is always there as the pillar of my class. Hi Aryan, Rajdev, good to see you. Where are the others? Hi Chawali. Hi Shivani. Hey hey. 9:15 पे या तो सब मूवी देखने गए हैं or everybody is busy having dinner or maybe a dinner date. Hi Biti, absolutely lovely seeing you there. क्रिस्टियानो जिंदगी में कुछ भी मैंडेटरी नहीं है, कैट देना भी मैंडेटरी नहीं है. But I had posted on FB Cristiano that this is an important session. However, if you're busy right now, you can watch the recording later. Alright, in this I'm going to give some practice for inferences, interpretation. ठीक है? So, mandatory सोचो, मतलब सोचना छोड़ो and do it if you've got the time. Hi Zoro, good to see you. Your short summaries were right. Good, Aryan Rajdev. Okay. हाँ भाई. So, how's your prep going, everyone? All good? सबका खाना हो गया है या अभी नहीं हुआ है? मेरा नहीं हुआ है. I don't know why off late I have started this bad habit. I have developed this bad habit, in fact, of eating late. I don't know why. I'll try to shrug it off. Yes, Biddy, good to see you. Yes. Chalo, everyone, sit tight. I'm going to bring for you like good questions. You'll love the practice session. ठीक है? What is the objective of this session? पहले तो ये भी clear होना चाहिए ना, right? I want you all to read, okay? Read, interpret, rephrase, and then info. Many of you know this by attending classes with me, that there is something called structured reading, organized reading, smart reading. And then when we locate our question, we connect it with a particular part of the paragraph, right? We do this, and then what happens? We have to interpret, right guys? But why interpretation mein locha ho jata hai? Either because our vocabulary is poor, or because we are in a hurry, or because we don't know the trick there. How to interpret, how to infer. Okay, you need to rephrase. Rephrasing is the trick that I'm talking about. So whenever you see something that is connected with inference directly or indirectly, you have to just rephrase. What is rephrasing? You have to see the words there, come up with some synonyms of those words, because that is exactly what a question setter does. आप आज देखोगे कैसे, ठीक है? Vidyanshi and Zoro and Aryan and everybody else. And then you have to infer. So inference is nothing but interpretation, rephrasing, picking the right words from there and kind of just coming up with some synonyms. Okay? So उसको बेकार में ही इतना ड्रामा बना दिया गया है, जो reading between the lines and all that. Yes, it is reading between the lines, but it's not something that is actually rocket science. All right. So chaliye, I'll take you forward now, and you know what? Doing this session will also help you with our upcoming mock. Earlier we were going to give it somewhere around 23rd or 24th. Now it has been postponed by I think a few days. So last 2 days or kuch aisa, end of the month, of course, make a end, you'll get the mock. You do this session, you'll find that this interpretation will help you tremendously in that open mock that we have. अभी mock के details और मैं दूंगी आपको, बढ़िया से दूंगी, slide पे दिखा के दूंगी. फिलहाल के लिए let's start with our questions. ठीक है? Ayushman, you'll have your dinner after this session. Cool. We'll have it together. चले? Okay. Now, focus everyone. ठीक है? बहुत मजा आने वाला है. I promise you this. There is this passage that I have given you. Cool. And this passage talks about something like, Native American customs and all. Hang in there. I'll just reduce my image size so that it doesn't obstruct your text. I think that should do it. Yo, superb. Chaliye guys. Shivani, Ayushman, alright. I have given you this passage here. You are not going to jump upon the passage and start reading it, like start hogging it. No, don't do that. What is the passage about? At the end of the 19th century, a rising interest in Native American customs and an increasing desire to understand Native American culture prompted ethnologists. Now, first things first, you have to come up with some meanings. Okay, native इस पे क्यों लिख रही हूं मैं? Here, I have kept a blank slide. Okay, Native Americans. Ethnologists. ये दो तो पता होना ही चाहिए. They are like very commonly occurring words, right? So Native Americans कौन है? Even before Christopher Columbus reached America, the people who lived there were called Native Americans. There is another word for native, that is indigenous. Indigenous, right? Indigenous means local. Local means the people who are living there. This indigenous population, indigenous tribes, indigenous people or peoples, this occurs everywhere. Yes, Ayushman, originally living there. Okay? So Native Americans or American Indians, these were the people who lived there long back. 15th century, 16th century, कुछ ऐसा था. Right? Who are ethnologists? Ethnic. हमारे कॉलेज में पार्टी होती है, कोई फंक्शन होता है, क्या हम बोलते हैं? एथनिक वेयर डे है ना? एथनिक डे है आज. इवन दीज डेज लाइक इन वेडिंग्स, एक दिन वेस्टर्न वेयर होता है, एक दिन एथनिक वेयर होता है, एक दिन आपका इंडो वेस्टर्न होता है, समथिंग ऑफ दिस सॉर्ट. Marriage is a kind of getting repositioned these days. It's not the purpose of two people coming together, it's the purpose of many people coming together and having a grand time. वो दोनों लोगों को जाने दो, उनकी शादी है, उनकी बर्बादी है, जो भी होगा देख लिया जाएगा, है ना? Anyway, let's not digress from the point. So let's come back. So ethnic, ethnologists. Ethnologists are people who study culture and societies, right? एक और वर्ड आता है अक्सर, anthropologists. L-O-G-I is study. Logist is a person who studies something, right? So anthropologist is study of mankind. Anthro, ठीक है? Origin of mankind, beginning, कैसे क्या हुआ, that is what it is. Ethnologist, culture and society, right? So I'll take you back to this passage. It has only 4 paragraphs. It's about something about Native American culture. Now, you have to also understand one more thing. When you see such a passage, Native American culture, that is the hero. Okay? Native American culture is the hero, but there has to be an angle. In this passage, we are going to discuss something about Native Americans and how their stories are kind of disappearing from the earth, from the face of the earth. So ethnologists want to preserve the stories. Your passage can be connected with Native Americans, but it can have any other angle. How they resented European colonizing, right? I mean, European colonizers had reached the place and then they started colonizing. So these Native Americans, how they resented it. How Native Americans died because of alien diseases that came with the colonizers, that could be the angle. How these Native Americans faced a scarcity of work, faced like, dearth of jobs, and that's why they were not able to feed themselves. Okay, how Native Americans were studied by others and in the process lots of things were omitted. So the angle can be anything. You're getting my point, right? Now if I take you over to this passage, and now you know that okay, this is on Native Americans, ethnologists bhi hai yahan par, ठीक है. So क्या बोल रहा है ये? Increasing desire to understand Native American culture prompted ethnologists to begin recording the life stories. That's it. The passage angle is very clear, है ना? So they wanted to study their stories. They had a distinct reason for wanting to hear the stories. There's a colon. Colon means an explanation. I have already taught you, Vidyanshi, that colon is a question pocket. Do you see over here? Comma, comma, right? Comma. In addition, so this is another reason. That means these 4 lines are giving you 4 to 5 reasons why ethnologists wanted to study these stories. है कि नहीं? This, my dear folks, is a question pocket. Question pocket means your question setter will be tempted to set a true false question in that zone. तो क्या करना है आपने? अभी when you are reading your passage, you don't need to read it word for word. You just check the first 4 lines. Generally, main idea is here. But here in these 3 lines, I can see that there are reasons. Ethnologists were rapidly disappearing. So this is like, reason 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, why they wanted to study. In this passage, the main idea is somewhere here. I take the main idea. I just spot this portion that is like, many items separated by commas. I understand that here we are going to get a question and then I move on. Now you see there were, however, arguments against this method. So there is some method that we are discussing, but then this paragraph is on critics, right? If there is any concept that the author is bringing, most likely he is going to bring a paragraph that will be criticism. What do the critics say? Then another paragraph, what do the supporters or proponents or defendants say? Okay, then another paragraph may be advantages. Another paragraph may be how it was accepted and adopted in the Western world. Another paragraph related to something else. Got it? So this paragraph talks about criticism. Okay, arguments against. Right, Ayushman? Now, the next paragraph. So I'm not going to check this paragraph word for word because I know ठीक है यहाँ पे ना critics की बात आई है. Right? Question तो होगा ही, आके पढ़ेंगे. Look at this. Even more importantly, as these life stories, now Vidyanshi, Chavali, try to understand this point. This even more importantly tells me that this is a continuation of the previous paragraph. You get my point? Means this para is also talking about the criticism, about the disadvantages, about the loopholes in this form of study. Yes, critics means people who don't like that. People who criticize it. Okay, so this paragraph is not connected to something else. It's not like, supporters or anything else. This is a continuation of the previous paragraph. So I understand this, Chavali, Shivani, that this is again a continuation, so I don't need to read it too much. Right? Yes, Ayushman. Then the last paragraph says, अब भाई मेरे दिमाग में ये point आता है, yes, Ayushman, कि भाई यहाँ तो बुराई ही कर दिया, अगले paragraph में भी he is criticizing. So then why is he writing this passage on this thing that we need to rewrite the stories of these American Indians? Now he comes to the last para and he says, despite all of this, autobiography, taking it from the horse's mouth, remains a useful tool for ethnological research. There is a colon. Means this is plus point. Right? So I'm going to get a question here, Shivani. Why is it considered good? If I get a question related to what is the drawback of this method, what is the critic's point of this method, I'll go to the second and third paragraphs. You get it? So in this passage, Ayushman Biswal, in this passage, what are the things that we need to understand? Okay, अभी मैं आपको इस पे दिखाती हूँ. चलिए, यहाँ आ गए. Let me clear all the jingle ala. Now, number 1, who is the hero of the passage? Native Americans. Right? But what is the angle? The main idea. Main idea. Right? The main idea is stories from their lives should be recorded. Do you see my point, everybody? Vidyanshi? Yes. Stories should be recorded. Cool. Number 3. What is the tone of the author? I'm coming to that. Number 4. Passage mapping. How will I map this passage? Okay. Main idea, right? Reasons, right? Criticism, +1, and then advantages. Do you see this? So this is exactly how I would map this passage. Got it? I'll repeat. Main idea, reasons given in the same para, which is a question pocket, criticism, plus one more paragraph of criticism, ye, and then advantages. So if you have to read such a passage, if you have to do your structured reading, your organized reading, smart reading of such a passage, it shouldn't take you more than 60 seconds. More than that, if you're reading such a passage, you're simply wasting your time. Got it, Ayushman? Now, what is the tone of the author? The tone of the author towards this particular method is what? Ye dekho. Despite all of this, this is not new, this is not what do you call it, objective, this is not informative, no. In the end, he's giving you a conclusion. So, he brought in the negative aspects, but then he says, despite all of this, it is something good. Why? Because it will give us this, whatever. So the tone of the author over here is positive, okay, towards the study method, and overall it is analytical. Do you see my point? Positive towards the study, the method of taking autobiographies from the people, right? And overall it is analytical, the style is analytical. Why? Because he is comparing. He is kind of, analytical tone kya hota hai? Analytical attitude. You take one thing, you compare A with B, you analyze by giving data or other information, or you take A and you check the plus versus minus. That is exactly what he's doing over here. He has taken a form of study and he's checking the plus versus minus. So it is analytical. Now, do you understand this particular slide over here? Confirm karo everybody, then we'll move forward. A very moderate passage, but I just wanted to show you the mapping and everything. And now the questions are like absolutely brilliant. Why? Because you'll have to infer neatly. And I have made your work easy today. Pucho kaise? On the question slides, I have given you the relevant paragraphs, so that you don't need to go back and forth. Okay? Chaliye. Now, here comes the first question. This is the relevant paragraph. Okay, that's the first para. Which of the following is most similar to the actions of 19th century ethnologists in their editing of the life stories of Native Americans? What type of question is this? This is application question. Means you have to go and understand the actions of 19th century ethnologists. You have to understand what their intentions were, and then accordingly you will have to check the options and apply that particular theory, that particular concept to these options, come up with the one that is a brilliant analogy. So this can be called an analogy question or an application question. But for that you need to go back and read the particular concept. What was their way, the actions, what were the actions of the 19th century ethnologists? I have given you the relevant paragraph. Read it carefully now, and then we go down and start eliminating. Got it? Come on, guys. I'm sure you're done by now. So when I go back to the paragraph and read the concept, what does it say? It says, prompted ethnologists to begin recording the life, okay, distinct reason, linguistic anthropological data, supplement their own field observations. You should know the meaning of supplement, okay? Supplement their own field observations. Cool? Supplement. Add to something. And the belief that the personal stories, even of a single individual, could increase their understanding of the cultures that they had been observing from without. This is point number 2. Point number 1, right? In many ethnologists, okay, so they were trying to study something. Now, application. We understood what they were doing. We have to come back over here to the options and start eliminating. So give me the first elimination. Come on, Aryan, Ayushman. Ayushman, should I eliminate A, or you have given A as the answer? Okay. B can't be. My first elimination is B. Why? Because he refuses to divulge the source of her information on the possible future increase. The paragraph does not talk about willingness or refusal to disclose information. It does not talk about somebody withholding information. It has nothing to do with a person's wish to not disseminate information among others. It has to be something similar to the paragraph, right, Amin? Correct? So this is eliminated, kind of out of scope. Now, I'm left with 3 options. Bidi. नहीं, extra info तो सब में रहेगा. Okay, because this is application. A chemistry professor asks his research scholar to dig out information from the professor's past papers of the last 5 years. So this is saying something that the professor had already done in the past, go and dig out information from there. Right? This is saying a chef includes the special ingredient from the recipe of his prize-winning dessert. So the chef is already familiar with this ingredient. He's aware of it. He knows that this ingredient is there. The paragraph talks about getting some data that would be an addition to their own field observations. Something that they had been observing from without. That means these ethnologists are not part of those stories. They are external. वो बाहर से देख रहे हैं, सुन रहे हैं उन कहानियों को. Now they want to kind of go and put the mic in front of those people and ask them to give out their stories so that they could get some extra information besides what these people already have. So ethnologists को अपना information जो है उसके अलावा over and above that they want something. That is what you have to infer from this paragraph over here. Right? If you are not able to infer that much from the paragraph right now, take it as a warning bell, because this paragraph is very moderate level. If you can't infer that much, you need to really pull up your socks, read a little more and increase your overall level of interpretation. ठीक है? Got it? So here he's talking about that. We come down. Now dig out information from the formers, that is the professor's past papers. तो वो तो familiar territory है. Right? Where is the new thing? The professor had done the work on those past papers and they are there in the repository. They have been there for the last 5 years. Where is the new thing? Right? So this is eliminated. The same thing applies over here. A chef includes the special ingredient of his recipe. His own recipe, his familiar territory. Maybe that recipe was added by him. Where is the new thing? So this is eliminated. Even if you play odd one out over here, this though was out of scope. This and this gives you familiar territory. Option C gives you unfamiliar territory. So this is your answer. You got it, guys? Understood how we eliminated, understood how we interpreted over here. Please remember the hack that I gave you in the end, that even if you play odd one out, when you're left with 3 options, odd one out में it should catch your attention that इसमें familiar territory दिखा रहा है, इसमें familiar है, इसमें unfamiliar है. So the odd one out is unfamiliar. Go back and try to prove it. Yes, he's talking about something that is unfamiliar. That's why ethnologists are flocking to these people for their stories so that they get something extra. Done? Cool. Over. Question number 1 sorted. Answer C. Question number 2. Come on guys, roll up your sleeves. You'll enjoy this one also. According to the passage, collecting life stories can be a useful methodology because... Oh, useful methodology. I know the flow of the passage. Useful methodology is only in the last para. So I have given you the last para over here. You don't need to kind of rattle your brains by moving here and there, thinking, अच्छा इस para में है, इस para में है. What if the passage was 6 paragraph long? फिर तो आप ढूंढते ही रह जाते. So just do the passage mapping quickly. You will be able to remember किस में क्या है. ठीक है? So what is the benefit that he is giving over here? We need to go back and read that. Remains a useful tool for ethnological research. Such personal reminiscences and impressions, you should know the meaning of these 2 words. Incomplete as they may be, this is extra information about these reminiscences are likely to throw more light on the working of the mind and emotions than any amount of speculation from an ethnologist or theorist from another culture. I know if the question setter is going to give me traps, he needs to rephrase. He's going to come up with synonyms, right? Now go down and check the options. I do not want your answer. Please eliminate the options for me and with me. Okay? Ayushman, I'm not happy. In every question you're just giving me the answer. क्या करूंगी मैं answer लेकर के, वो तो मुझे पहले से ही पता है. वो नहीं खेल रहे हम. Life stories provide deeper insights into a culture than the hypothesizing of academics who are extraneous to that culture. Right? So the difficult words here are hypothesizing, academics, extraneous. कुछ तो connection होगा paragraph में, that we need to check. Life stories can be collected easily and they are not subject to invalid interpretations. Our range is only this much. Yes, exactly Ayushman, very good, not B, because collected easily. The paragraph doesn't mention any such thing. So this is out of scope, eliminated. Got it? Then, next one, life stories based on recollections. Recollections is reminiscences. हाँ, यही तो answer है. Right? Because the question setter is giving us some synonyms. Give an emotional angle to the study. Now this option has 2 parts. In Shabana Ma'am's POE, we have learned that if there are 2 parts to a sentence, to an option, check both the parts, right, Vidyanshi? है ना? So, life stories based on recollections, yes, they are based on recollections. Give an emotional angle to the study. Go back and check. Emotions दिया तो है. Yes, so C is our answer. है ना? What do you say, guys? C है आंसर या नहीं है? No, Aryan. I like the confidence, dude. Very good. Okay. No. Akanksha also says no. Well done. Good. This is what we call attractive word trap. I gave this in your POE ka techniques. What does it say? What does it show? आप देखो यहाँ पे. Throw more light on the working of the mind and emotions. If you go and sit with those native Indians and if you hear it from the horse's mouth, if you hear the anecdotes, you will be able to understand better how their mind works, how their emotions used to play on their psyche. You will be able to understand better. That doesn't mean that the stories that you're getting from them are all emotional stories. No, definitely not. So this is out. Wah, zindagi aasan. I'm left with A and D. What do we do when we are left with 2 options? We take one Bidyanshi, try to prove it, go back to the paragraph and then do it. चलिए, now you can give me your answer between A and D. बोलो बिस्वाल जी. Anyone? A or D? A is the answer, Aryan says. अब Aryan ने बोल दिया है तो मैं कैसे मना कर सकती हूँ? Yes, exactly. Because important and unimportant features of a culture, the paragraph doesn't tell you that with this method we can distinguish between the important and unimportant. No, it's totally out of scope. Right? Maybe important and all has been mentioned somewhere else, but not in this paragraph, because this is the only paragraph that's talking about this method as a useful one. So yes, अब ये देखो विद्यांशी, how option 1 connects with this. Life stories provide deeper insights, right? Throw more light. Correct? Into a culture than the hypothesizing speculation. Right, of academics कौन है? Ethnologist or ethnological theorist, right, who are extraneous to that culture from another culture. Do you see my point? This is how beautifully, like, that question setter has made this option, and then the others have those traps. So yes, answer should be A. You're sticking with A. Yes, Ayushman. Cool. Done. Rephrased, yes, Shivani. Next, same passage. I have given you the two relevant paragraphs. By question एक तो होगा ना, critics के point of view पे. Why do the critics not like it? Or why is there so much criticism about it? Right? अब देखो यहाँ पे. The information in the passage suggests which of the following may be a possible way to eliminate bias in the editing of life stories. Do not be hasty. पहले तो क्वेश्चन अगर समझ नहीं आया वहीं गड़बड़ हो जाएगी. The information suggests what? Which of the following may be a way, a tariqa to eliminate bias. That means the paragraphs mention something about bias. Bias means subjectivity. Bias means personal interpretation, right? So the passage mentions something about bias, and now the question setter says the author has talked about bias maybe in the passage. So based on the information, which may be a possible way to eliminate the bias. For that, you first need to go and check in the portion in the passage where the bias thing has been mentioned. I have given you the two relevant paragraphs. Those are like, the critics wala paragraphs. Check now. Can anyone point out where in the passage you can spot that bias wala thing? Shivani, Bidi, Akanksha. Can you point it out? Come on, guys. Oh yes, absolutely, Ayushman. Good. First para somewhere here, last two lines or something. I can see that, right? That portion is talking about tinged, ये दिख रहा है, tinged by the investigator's own emotional tone to be reliable. This is called subjectivity. Ayushman comes to me and tells me a story, something that happened with him in the class. Maybe he had a spat with Shivani. Okay. Now, if I know Ayushman personally, if I don't know Shivani personally, what will happen? I'll listen to his story with a sympathetic ear. And I'll say, yeah, I understand. Yeah, Shivani shouldn't have done that. Right? That is called subjectivity. That is called bias. Right? So now go down to the options. Ye keh raha may be a possible way to eliminate bias. Check the options and eliminate your options, please. Basing all inferences made about the culture on an ethnological theory. Eliminating all of the emotion-laden information reported by the informant. We need one true F. 3F should have traps. Translating the informant's words into the researcher's language. Okay? Reporting all of the information that the informant provides, regardless of the investigator's personal opinion about its intrinsic value. Come on, guys. अब all तो मुझे इसमें है, इसमें है, इसमें है, तीनों में है, right? So all वाला टेक्निक तो यहां चल नहीं रहा है. Translating the informant's words into the researcher's language is a definite elimination, because it's not given there that it will be better if I'm an ethnologist and I translate it in my language, because the paragraph says very clearly that some of the information gets lost, right? ये बोला है the essence of their lives could not be communicated in English. तो फिर अगर ethnologist English है उसके language में तो हो नहीं पाएगा, right? So C is out. Basing all inferences made about the culture on an ethnological theory, eliminating all of the emotion laden information reported by the informant. Now subjectivity के basis पे I'll keep this and this, right? Personal opinion. I will eliminate A. ठीक है? So I'm left with B and D. Now what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to pick one, read it carefully, look for the difference between the two options, go back to the paragraph and prove one of the two. Between B and D, which one is your answer? You know what the difference is between these two? Aryan, Ayushman, Bidi, difference पहले देख लो आकांक्षा. Yes, eliminating all of the emotion laden information reported by the informant. Informant कौन है Bidi? Informant is the person जो Native American जो कहानी सुना रहा है, उसका emotion पूरा हटा देना है. Eliminating all his emotion, ये कह रहा है. Reporting all the information that the informant provides regardless of the investigator's emotion and opinion. So option B is talking about the storyteller's emotion and D is talking about the investigator or the ethnologist's emotion. Subjectivity and emotional tone and bias किसका बोला है? Investigator का बोला है, right? So investigator के हिसाब से, yes, this is your answer. B gets eliminated. Yes, Shivani, you guys got it. Well done. Cool. D is your answer. ठीक है? Brilliant. One more question related to those two paragraphs. Come on, Aryan. The passage mentions which of the following as a factor that can affect the accuracy of ethnologists' transcriptions of life stories. Obviously, affect the accuracy means criticism. समझ गए ये हम? Go back to the criticism वाला paragraphs. Accuracy of his transcriptions. One point we got over here, that is subjective, right? Biased. There can be other factors also. Ayushman, C elimination है या C answer है? सबसे पहला elimination, number of stories, right? Eliminated. We are talking about quality of stories. We are not talking about quantity. Yes, Aryan. Second para, yes, cool. Right? So, we are not talking about number of life stories. This is eliminated. Cool? Then, so look for elimination, not short elimination. Social standing, informant का. Informant का social standing यहाँ बोला है, as taboos had to be broken to speak the names of relatives crucial to their family stories. So, can this affect the accuracy? I mean, if they are coming up with the with some names, अब यहाँ पे तो ये दिया हुआ है, so I'm going to keep it. I'm not exactly convinced that it should be eliminated. Okay, the inclusiveness of the theory that provided the basis for the research. Inclusiveness of the theory. What is inclusiveness? It includes, like, a lot of people. It kind of, it's something that is kind of giving you a broader perspective, right? And then this one says the length of time the researchers spent in the culture under study. So I'm left with three options. Not exactly clear कैसे अभी eliminate करना है. Go up, look for one drawback. यहाँ पूछा है as a factor that can affect the accuracy. Right? Come on, Aryan. Ayushman. If you're taking so much time in this question, you are doing it the wrong way, and you should dump this question after 30 seconds. If, elimination sahi nahi ho raha hai. But I'll show you something, how to do this very crisply. Okay? यहाँ देखो, let me first clear all the jingalala. देख लो बाप. सबसे पहले number of stories eliminated. Right, Aryan? Rahul? ये eliminated. ठीक है? Length of time, I want to prove this. Inclusiveness, social standing. I will just take these three things. Prove it. I'm going to take all of them up and prove. सबसे easy है यहाँ पे length of time. यहाँ बोला है ये. Rarely spent enough time with the tribes they were observing, and inevitably derived results too tinged by this. So this is point number 2, subjective. This is point number 1, they were not spending enough time. तो ये तो दे रखा है, right? I'll keep this. The inclusiveness of the theory that provided the basis. I'm not able to find this. जाने दो, कोई बात नहीं. Don't get confused. Option 1, social standing within the culture. Ethnologist का नहीं, जो informant है उनका, within the culture. Well, these two lines are talking about their standing or whatever, ठीक है, distort their cultures, जो कुछ भी. Indeed, the very act of telling their stories could force Native American narrators to distort their cultures. Okay, as taboos had to be broken to speak the names. Okay, अभी यहाँ पे क्या बोला है? यहाँ significant were often deemed unimportant. The very act of telling their stories could force. So this is the way they were telling the stories, ठीक है? I mean, those people, the Native Americans, and this could force them to distort their cultures. They had to break this. So they had to break the taboo. What was the taboo? The culture said, do not take the names of dead ancestors. It said, do not take the names of dead ancestors, right? But if they took the names, that would distort the culture. That would not distort the stories. Are you getting it? Stories में कोई भी accuracy खराब नहीं होगी. Why? Because stories में तो उनको देना है. But if they speak the names, that would actually distort the culture. That would break the taboo. That would kind of, make them a sinner. This is what it is saying. So ये जो informant social standing है, this is, word play. This is what we call distortion. So we are left with B and C. Now you can easily check between B and C and give me the answer. Come on, Ayushman and Aryan and Rahul and Biddy and everyone else. बताओ. So यहाँ ये last के 2 lines है ना, this required interpretation, that is where some of you were getting it wrong. यही interpretation सुधारना है तो हमारा देश सुधरेगा, right? Yes, Aryan. C is your answer probably. The length of time the researchers spent. Why? Because यहाँ clearly बोला है, being of limited value, right? Why? They were not accurate. Why? Because they were not spending enough time. This is what he says over there. Yes. Ayushman, you want to stick with C? Okay, let's check if C is the answer. Yes, C is the answer. Well done, guys. Biryanshi, C, yes. Got it? Chalo. The last 2 questions, 4 and 5. I hope you guys are enjoying the set. है ना? चलिए. All of the following were not the reasons for ethnologists wanting to study except. Now, this is the first para. Wanting to study, right? Look at the question, not the reasons. Okay, so we are looking for F, F, F. Except only one true. 3 options will have traps. पहले तो क्वेश्चन को डिकोड कर लेना राहुल, वरना सारी गड़बड़ी हो जाएगी. Very good, Shivani, you got it. FFFT. Well done. Okay. Then you have to decide which para. They wanted to study, that was given in the first para. Right, Rahul? So they wanted to study in the first para wala hai. Information, go to the first para. CAT का passage एक ही slide पे होता है पूरा. And the question will be alongside. So you check the first para. ठीक है, wanting to study में 3F 1T. We know the reasons. Go back again and please check the reasons. Now, how will I read it carefully? आप सुन लो पहले यहाँ. ठीक है, यहाँ बोला है आपको colon है. Right? That means there are commas, commas, commas. This is a question pocket. I had said earlier, you got this question, right? They were after linguistic or this data. That would supplement their own field observations. Number 1. Number 2, they believed that personal stories, something could increase the understanding something. In addition, number 3, many acknowledges something. And number 4, it was important to preserve for posterity. 4 ही तो points है, चारों points में वो word play डालेगा and he is going to give them over here क्योंकि FFFT है. Now you start eliminating. Option A has 2 parts. Record the stories, save the culture from extinction. Check both the parts. Come on Rahul, बताओ मुझे ऑप्शन ए रखूं या एलिमिनेटेड. तू मानेगा नहीं मेरी बात आयुष्मान, बोल रही हूं एलिमिनेट कर तो पहले ही क्वेश्चन आंसर पे भाग जाता है. Eliminate, yes, A is eliminated. They were not, yes, they were not thinking of saving it from extinction. उन्होंने बोला इससे पहले कि ये मर जाए इसको बचा लो, मतलब इसको बचा लो, कहानियां बचा लो. इससे पहले वो मर जाए कहानियां अपने पास रिकॉर्ड कर लो. Right? ऐसा. So the second part is wrong, so we eliminate this option. They realized the significance of handing every collected story down the lineage. Lineage is a very good rephrasing of posterity. ये दिख रहा है यहाँ. It was important to preserve for posterity. Wow, this is the answer. Every collected story, every. Don't you think this is extreme? Apply the POE technique, this is eliminated. Right? I'm left with C and D. Now between C and D, look for the difference, go back, interpret and give me the answer. Come on, Aryan. Yes, Shivani. Akanksha. Yes, Varun, this is, ये देख रहे हो, यहाँ बोला है even of a single individual. That means Varun and Aryan, yes, C is eliminated. Right? हमें तो एक true चाहिए. यहाँ बोला है even of a single individual, चाहिए उनको बहुत सारों से था. We want many stories, but then even one story from one individual could increase our own field observation. It could give us some supplemental data. This is what they said. That doesn't mean they wanted it only from one person. So this is called distortion or word play. This is eliminated, and I think D should be your answer. They were keen on collecting data that would not be similar. Not be similar, supplement their own field observations, observing from without. ये दिख रहा है. Something that they did not know beforehand, something that they did not have in their kitty, they wanted something of that sort. So what they already knew wala. Right? D is your answer. Cool. Done. 4 ही questions थे, मैं 5 सोच रही थी. I hope you enjoyed the set, guys. कैसा लगा? Elimination plus inferences brought together, and I think those of you who were getting some questions wrong, you really need to pull up your socks. And ये अगर आपने अभी session किया है, you will be surprised because in the mock, there are similar inferential questions. So is it clear now? Everyone, is it clear? Yeah, audible? Yeah. I was telling you about the mocks. We are going to give you a plethora of mocks, right? A great set. But the thing is, पहले अभी जो first mock है अपना, ठीक है? First mock, that's going to be in the end of May. Please, ये WhatsApp group जो है, link is given in the box below. So please go ahead, join this, okay? And you will be informed of the date when it is there. So even if you're not a subscriber at iQuanta, you can simply go and take this mock जब भी वो announce होता है. And yes, connected with this, we have got prizes. Yeah? Sanjog, now you can hear me. So we have got prizes worth 50 lakhs. Just join the WhatsApp group, you'll stay updated about this mock. Alright, and we've got AI mock analysis also, plus iska explanation and everything. If you want, I'm there for it. Doesn't matter, Rahul, I said Mars, Jupiter, Mercury, America, Europe, kahin se koi bhi hai. This is a free mock for everybody. Just go ahead and take it. Even Native Americans can come and take the mock. Complete VARC syllabus कैसे complete कर सकते हैं आकांक्षा on YouTube? What we give on YouTube are just bits and pieces. है ना? Those are just kind of to help you study, help you keep the momentum going. But then that can't be the whole syllabus. Okay? All right. And this new batch we started recently. I am also there as part of it. बाकी सबको तो आप जानते ही हैं, हमारे दिग्गज फैकल्टी. वी हैव गॉट सज्जन सर, अभिषेक लीला पांडे सर, ALP जिनको कहा जाता है फॉन्डली, अपने जीत सिंह सर, राइट. वी हैव गॉट झा सर जो कि मुंबई से ऑपरेट करते हैं, प्रशांत चड्डा सर, he operates from Chandigarh, and these people are like absolutely veterans in their fields. I really am proud of this fact that I'm part of this big team, this great team over here. So guys, you stay assured. If you are learning with us, you really have some of the good faculty members. मेरे बारे में आप खुद decide कर लेना बाद में. I'm not talking about myself, but the others are absolutely cream of the crop. ठीक है guys, चलो that's it for tonight. जिसका जिसका dinner नहीं हुआ है, join me now. Okay, बाद में फिर मिलेंगे, कल मिलेंगे, परसों मिलेंगे, मिलते ही रहेंगे, रोज मिलते रहेंगे. हमारा काम है VRC पढ़ना, पढ़ते रहेंगे. Right everybody? So just stay motivated, keep learning. And we're going to do it. Shivani, thank you so much. You made my day. And I mean, you appreciate me, so that's good. Cool. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Bye, Rahul. Bye, everybody. See ya.